We are live.
Yes, now we're live.
Now we're live. Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Please let us know if you can hear us in the chat. Usually we don't have any problems, so hopefully we don't tonight. So we have a lot to get into. We're really excited. I've been researching on this fire, these aliens in Peru, some other stuff that has come up. Foil, Aaron has as well. Aaron, you got pretty interesting some light going on right now. I was like, he's wearing a mask,
right?
The filter.
I'm in my light body right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm in 5D.
Nice.
This is what I look like in 5D.
But guys, this fire, I can't wait. Actually, I discovered something last night about this fire that I haven't seen anyone talking about yet. And I really think I'm on to something, and I can't wait to share with you what I've come up with. But before we get into that, welcome back to the show, Foil.
Hi. You know, I'm always happy to be here.
So what's new in your world?
Man, you know, not a whole, starting a new job. That's great. Tonight I plan on slaying the Elden Beast and becoming the Elden Lord. After this stream, I will be streaming the game. Yeah, not on my channel, with my friend Patriot Freestyle. That should be entertaining, right? That's been playing that game for about a year, so I'm ready to be through this. It's going to be great. But yeah, that's about it. About it of the new with me, for sure. How are you guys?
Perfect. Can't you tell?
Yes. Yes.
So
everybody looks perfect.
Before we get started, that girl from Snakes on the Plane, she finally came forward.
Yes.
And made a statement.
She did.
And
Tiffany
what did she
Gomez.
say?
Yeah, Tiffany Gomez. She has a whole Twitter account now, right? Makes a statement, goes, you know, she's like a marketing exec, like has her own marketing firm, like lives in a beautiful home.
Wealthy.
Yeah,
right.
like just life is great, right? She got caught on, you know, what she considers her worst day. I think it's probably her best day, but whatever, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Probably the opposite.
Right? Makes a statement, says, you know, she's sorry. She's sorry that she wasn't in control of her emotions. She did enjoy the memes. She's loved the memes. She says they're great. You know, she's entertained a lot of people. This is fantastic. But she was literally holding back tears making the statement, which I get. I mean, you know, if she's just generally kind of like not a woo person at all, she was probably mortified. But she never answered the fundamental question, which is, was that real or not?
What did you see?
Yeah, what did you? We still don't know, right? And so immediately in the comments, everybody on, like, that's all anybody cares about. Like, there were a couple of Karens that got on there. No offense, Karen Hare. There were a couple of people that got on there yelling at her, like, you caused unnecessary drama for people when there were children on the plane. 99% of the responses are just like, bro, what happened?
But like, we don't give a shit.
We completely support you.
Anything else?
Right?
Tell us
great that you're sorry, but what did you see? Right? We still
Solve
don't know
this mystery for us.
Right? It's all we want to know, man. It's all we want to know.
She never answered that.
No, not once. Didn't even address it.
Well, that's suspicious. That's very suspicious to me.
Right?
Thank you, Lisa, for the donation.
Oh, whoop, whoop.
Thank you.
Right? Like, did you save the plane? Did you save the plane or not, man? That's what was there. We still don't know.
Right? Did you save the plane?
Right?
Yeah.
Did you save the children on the plane? We really want to know, man.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows?
What was that video you sent me? Did we talk about the guy? It was another video where this guy was flipping out and telling them that he was telling everybody he was stuck in a time loop, and that
right?
Yeah, so he ended up back on the plane, but he was trying to tell everybody like he's already been on this flight.
Like 6 or 7 times. It crashes every time. Like, he was crying and like, I believed him. Of course, you know, I tend to believe these things more often than not, right? Yeah, dude was freaking out. It was a Chinese guy, right? Because the whole thing was subtitled. Like, guy on a plane in China, not long after the Tiffany Gomez incident, had a complete and total freak out. Said he had been on this plane 6 or 7 times. Every time the plane had crashed, he tried throwing a fit. They would never let him off the plane. Finally, they let him off the plane, and the plane made it to wherever it was going safely. So, you know,
yeah,
time loops could be real, man. I don't know. He was definitely convinced.
Foxhole sent us here, sent me here. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.
That has to be because of foil. So thank you.
Yeah, I did post it in the foxhole. Yeah, listen, just quick shout out to pilled.net for those of you watching on YouTube. If you are interested in free speech content, pilled.net, go over, make a free account. Tons of good creators over there.
All right, so let's get into this. First of all, this Hawaii fire, it's, in my opinion, it's 100% clearly a directed energy weapon. It was a targeted attack, and there's so many things that point to this. We can talk about it, we can break it down, but the first thing that's interesting to note is all the celebrities that have homes in Maui. Did you know this?
Listen, most of my information is on the alien attack, right? I'm going to learn with you here, aside from that one thing I told you earlier.
I've actually been in Lahaina. The one time I went to Hawaii was 13 years or 14 years ago with my family, and we went to Maui and we stayed right next to Lahaina basically. And every day we were in Lahaina, I think pretty much. And we did a zip line, and the guy leading the zip line was like friends with Owen Wilson or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said his kids went to school with Owen Wilson's kids, and he was telling, and then he said some other celebrity that lived there. So I knew it. So yeah, I knew Owen Wilson. I knew like one of the other ones.
Well, listen to this list. And this isn't even all of them, by the way. So these
break out your notebook.
Celebrities who live in Maui: Oprah Winfrey, Willie Nelson, Clint Eastwood, Helen Hunt, Kelsey Grammer, Woody Harrelson. Owen, did I just say Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson.
Carlos Santana, Randy Travis, Mark Fleetwood, Steven Tyler, Lars Ulrich, Metallica's drummer, Sammy Hagar.
I didn't know that.
Sammy Hagar, Gene Simmons from Kiss, Don Nelson, Laird Hamilton, and I know there's more, but that's just, first of all, that's
so rock stars love Maui for some reason.
That's
clearly
that's suspect in itself. And we have these videos, which we'll play some of them. Now that I figured out how to play videos on here. Thank you so much, PJ, for the donation.
Whoop, whoop.
Tiffany.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Anyway, so let's just get into some of this stuff. Is there anything? Well, actually, I'm gonna open this up real quick. Sorry, guys. Let me just get this ready. I'm gonna share my screen right now. Share sound. I learned that the hard way. All right, can you see the Mountain Dew thing?
Yeah, buddy.
Yep. Okay, so this is Aaron sent me this.
I sent you this.
Right, so this is a tweet or an X
Facebook post
or a Facebook post or whatever.
An exclamation.
Yeah.
Right.
My brother in Christ, Rob Anderson, pointed this out, and it's spot on. What happened in Maui is by no means an accident, and this Mountain Dew direct energy weapons Dew, DEW, Mountain Dew, Maui burst flavor is definitely not just a mere coincidence either. Remember, this is exactly how witchcraft and the occult works. They must show and tell you exactly what they are going to do before they do it. What's funny is I was in Dollar General like 2 days ago and I saw this and I almost took a picture of the box, and I was going to make a comment on the box about the Mountain Dew's new artwork, but I didn't even connect the dots that they're literally telling you, Dew, direct energy weapon, Maui burst. Now, this actually came out in like 2019 or 2020, this flavor, but it wasn't released until stores officially until basically right now. And in particular, Dollar General, and there's videos out there, there's gematria on this, like the date of the release of this has everything to do with the New World Order and Freemasonry and all the connections, like everything's there. There's no coincidence. But I mean, talk about like throwing it in your face, and all these guys are on the box laughing. Like that's to me, that's just
right.
Like
they're kind of creeping me out, right?
Right. It's like mocking us.
Which is also what they do, you know, like telling us what they're doing ahead of time is a form of mocking in and of itself. They do it for that reason. They also do it for the magic, you know. Right. Well, for both reasons, actually. So yeah.
So now here's another thing I want to get into. Why I think this was he pointed out this is an occult ritual or witchcraft. This is something else I noticed I haven't seen anyone talk about yet, and I'm gonna jump into it right now. Okay, so Lahaina City is perfectly circled by fire. This is actually a screenshot I took from a video. I'll play the video next. When I saw this,
That's wild.
look, first of all, yeah, it's a weird circle around the city of Lahaina. And the video shows the guy's like, okay, something's not normal about this fire. He goes, not only is there a giant ring of fire, but there's the boats in the water all burned as well. Like all these boats that were out on the water caught fire.
Physically impossible.
Yeah, right. How does that even happen?
If
Yeah,
it was
so
a
the
normal
boats-
wildfire.
Exactly. So here's what I saw. I saw this ring of fire and it hit me. This is like, I was up till 2 a.m. doing this research, and I had to continue this morning because I couldn't find what I was looking for. I remembered an old Max Spears interview that he talked about the Johnny Cash song Ring of Fire was actually talking about the Hellfire Club, which is a club that does satanic rituals. And it was actually founded by Sir Francis Dashwood in the 1700s in Dublin, Ireland. And the activities included playing cards with the devil, burning servants to death, performing exorcism on black cats, murder, and cannibalism.
You know, the Hellfire Club is also mentioned in
Season
Stranger
4,
Things.
Season 4, episode 1
right.
of Stranger Things.
Hey, that's right. It is.
Yeah, I have that picture here too to show everybody. Right here.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. So this wasn't just some Dungeons and Dragons club in Stranger Things. This actually was founded in the 1700s. Well, Max Spears was talking about how, you know, they hide everything in music. And he said Johnny Cash, the Ring of Fire, is actually talking about the Hellfire Club. And he explains that they use fire in these rituals to summon demons. But he said it's more than, it goes beyond that. He said they do it on the Syrian portal. This is where it gets really interesting. The Syrian portal is a window from August 8th to August 13th, when Sirius is at its highest point in the sky. Aleister Crowley got married on August 12th to take advantage of this portal. And he says that they have rituals in this window to summon demons, or negative factions from the Sirius star system, negative Syrians. Well, this fire happened on August 8th. It happened exactly in the Syrian portal. Exactly in the Syrian portal. They literally show you the ring of fire in around Lahaina. And Max Spears is saying the Johnny Cash song Ring of Fire is literally talking about the Hellfire Club satanic rituals. If they're not telling you, without telling you that this is a ritual, like my mind was blown when I was connecting these dots.
Yeah. Nope, that all just must be a huge coincidence. There's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing to see here.
Nothing to see there.
Right? That is crazy. That is crazy. I don't know. And it's, you know, you don't, when you think, now I'm sure Hawaii has its share of fires or whatever, but it's a tropical island. It's not like there's a bunch of dried wood just waiting to be kindled. Like, I don't know. The whole thing feels weird to me.
Well, 888 is also Lionsgate. So I guess
Right.
it's just a portal that could be used for negative or positive, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's negative or positive, but they take advantage of it.
They take advantage of it to do their stuff. Yeah.
But I'm just like, wow, the Ring of Fire, the Hellfire Club. I mean, it's just all there. And then the Mountain Dew thing to top it off.
Right.
I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up.
Yeah. There's no way that's all coincidence.
I actually need to reshare my screen again. So Foil, tell us about this picture right here.
Oh, I get to fact check. Okay.
Yes. So this is the thing that's going around. That's apparently a direct energy weapon.
But it's not though. This is the one thing that, now granted, I told you I'm fully on with this being a really weird attack. I don't, this is something crazy that happened in Maui, but this particular picture is a long exposure shot of a rocket launch taken from a similar area. So what you're seeing is not energy coming down from the sky. It's literally a rocket launching, and it was just the way the picture was taken that we caught the whole beam, and because I saw like Stu Peters had posted this, and like it's important when we're trying to get this information out to people that we also give them good information that's not easily debunkable, that makes us all look like lunatics.
Well, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, have at it.
So this is what they do. I can almost guarantee you, well, not guarantee you, but there's a very good chance that this was put out by a controlled opposition person or by, deep state, because that's what they do. They put out intentionally fake pictures so that it can be debunked, right? So then the fact checkers or the media or whatever can come in and be like, oh, look, they're all saying it was direct energy weapons, but this is a fake picture that was actually this. So it's all debunked,
Right. So then it all
Classic,
must be
right?
false, right?
Right.
Exactly.
It all is all false. Nothing to see here. Move along. Right. That's what they hope you just accept and then you move along. Well, of course we know it's real, but even though that picture is not actually real. And this is why, like you said, it's so important to make sure you're not sharing out fake stuff, because that can easily, people can be,
they just dismiss the whole issue. Yeah.
Dismiss the whole thing, or people are like, well, wait, that picture wasn't, so, it's just muddying the waters if nothing else,
Right.
But it's good to note that, like, it's good to understand that sometimes what we're looking at isn't the real thing too.
Right.
And it's just a healthy practice of skepticism and just doing your due diligence. But I'm going to play this video, this guy talking about showing the boats on fire and showing the ring of fire real quick.
We're done. Yeah, we're done. Careful right here. There's debris all. Yeah. No.
The audio just went silent.
What's that?
The audio just went mute on my end.
Oh, that
Video.
okay. Thank you. That helps me understand this setting now. So I'll go back. I'll change it back.
It was working at first, and then
Yeah.
whatever you did, muted it.
Yeah. Okay. I have to stop my share. Anyway, you guys saw the video, right? I mean, it shows the ring.
Right.
Look at all the boats
Um,
on fire. It's insane. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, what are we so are we supposed to think that embers from the fire just caught these boat? Is that what we're like? Is that the explanation that's supposed to be that magically all of these embers hit these boats? And
Magic
these
embers.
boats caught on fire? Like, it looks,
Right.
the situation just looks wild.
Magic embers. Yeah.
Magic
Right.
embers, right?
It looks like a war zone. Yeah, it looks
does.
like there's nothing that would have caught natural that would have caught. That's,
You wouldn't think.
I mean, no.
Well,
And then I
there-
saw somebody mentioning
joke.
that the church was left standing. It can
Oh, yeah.
in one of the chats
Trees.
that the only thing that was left was like the church and some trees.
Well, which
So-
is what, in California, same thing. Every time they do this, you have all these trees still standing, and then you have all the buildings just
Like
decimated.
demolished houses
Like
surrounded by
ashes,
trees that are fine.
complete- Right.
Mhm.
It's like that doesn't happen in wildfires. That's not something that would ever naturally happen.
Right. So I'm going to
Cool
play
stuff.
another video that you share with me, Aaron. I'm just going to play a couple videos talking about this fire because, I mean, it's totally worth covering all this. And then there's something really interesting that Matthew Mornian shared with me. Thank you, Debbie Bright.
Thank you,
Um,
Debbie.
Hopefully the audio works now that I screwed with it all.
Industry of people
Can you hear
losing their
that?
homes due to fire, flood,
Yes.
monster emergency services. But I need you guys to hear me out. You don't see what's going on. I feel something is bigger. I've been on Maui the last 9 years, and I know the geographical location and how everything works. There was no fucking way that a hurricane missed Big Island, went to Maui, and didn't flood them, didn't give them, crazy, other things, but it caused fires. It caused fires in not only on Maui, but it caused fires in the most precious parts of real estate in Maui. Lahaina Front Street is worth billions. The Hawaiians that have been holding out and the Kanaka have been holding out for years, not wanting to sell their property in Lahaina due to these big $1 million companies. It is not a coincidence. I don't believe how in the most precious parts of Maui, Kula, Lahaina, and Kihei, that the locals that are standing strong and do not want to give up Oprah Winfrey's fucking view up in Kula that the Hawaiians are holding out on, that the fire was going to, the Hawaiians and the Kanaka that was holding right there on Front Street.
And that it ends there.
I've been in the
That's terrible. I also heard that there were no warning sirens or anything given, that those people had no time to prepare.
Yep, I'm gonna play that one now.
Sounds like Paradise, California. Same thing.
Yeah,
happened there.
same thing.
Same exact thing.
So here you go.
Talk about some updates on the Hawaiian fire situation. Now, I want you to look at this guy's page, go to his Instagram and follow him. He's talking about how people are trying to bring in supplies such as water, food, and gas, and they are being turned away. The military is turning away people from helping, and he was talking about this on his page. Now, if we take it a step further, the governor was asked, why didn't the system go off when the fires were happening? And he was basically saying it must have been a malfunction. But what's interesting is a person commented, the siren sounds went off when there was no tsunami, but the sound when an actual burning fire disaster, it doesn't occur. What's also interesting about the governor was he passed this executive order just before this in July, which could take away the land from the people based on if they need to rezone. There's also a lady who has mentioned how the Red Cross has had hundreds of millions of donations from all these celebrities, but they don't have any security and they're having to move the people out who have lost everything. So then we look at this lady's work and we can see that this looks like a land grab. If all of these politicians and celebrities really cared, why aren't they talking about this legislation? This legislation was something that was proposed on January 5th of 2023 of 51 acres in the same area of the fire would be turned into a housing project. Interesting. Now, what's also interesting is this follows the Agenda 2030 plan as well. So we really have to ask, was this just...
All right, so that's that. Now, something that to follow that Matthew Mornian shared with me that kind of blew my mind, and it's already going around, so some of you guys may have already seen this, but actually I need to pull it up. It's right here. Thank you, Matthew. I saw you in the chat. Thank you for sending this to me a couple hours ago.
By the way, how many times have they used the malfunction excuse for
Oh,
why something doesn't work magically when it
magically.
absolutely needs to work?
Yeah,
Magically.
the siren just doesn't work. Yeah.
Oh, the video camera just malfunctioned. Oh, the siren just malfunctioned. Oh, this is a malfunction.
Yeah, I mean, they don't care anymore. It's all in your face. It's like,
Right. They don't even care how
we
stupid.
figure it out after the damage is already done, and so they
Right.
don't care.
Right.
So here, Matthew Mornian sent me this. The government of Hawaii states goal for rebuild is to make the entire island of Maui the first smart island.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. The first smart island. They want the entire island governed by AI as outlined in the Hawaii Digital Government Summit of 2023 that they have planned to host next month on Monday, September 25th, 2023 in Maui. Plans to implement a digital AI government over Hawaii. And then there's a link here that I'm not even going to go through, but you click the link and it's a 13-page outline of all of their entire plan. And it actually makes you sick when you look at it. It's like the devil in disguise. So interesting. Hitachi recently announced that it has begun operations on the demonstration site for the Japan-US Island Grid project, commonly referred to as the Jump Smart Maui. So Jump Smart Maui on the island of Maui, Hawaii, in collaboration with the New Energy and Industrial Technology Development Organization, NIDO, Mizuho Bank, and Cyber Defense Institute. An opening ceremony was held on Maui to coincide the launch of the site operations. Last January 2023, or this January 2023, there was a smart city conference in Maui to turn Maui into an entire smart city island, pushing everything electric and making 15-minute smart cities. Lastly, there was a contract last year that was signed to build high-rise condos and businesses in Lahaina, which was a historical town that couldn't have any new development, but now it can.
Yeah, it's going to have all
How
new development
convenient.
now.
How
Right.
convenient.
Right.
that
So now that
they
it's
can-
burned down, they can have their new development and build their high rises and apparently like that video we watched, this was sacred land. Well, all the islands are sacred land.
Right.
I mean,
That's Lemuria. Hawaii is left over from Lemuria. It's Lemurian land. Yeah.
jump smart Hawaii. I mean, come on now. And then
Travesty.
here's a little commercial for Jump Smart Hawaii if you guys want to see it. And somebody added some graphics to it.
Why can't we pull energy out of thin air?
That was the question Hitachi asked before initiating the Jump Smart Maui project. This initiative demonstrates how electric vehicles, smart grids, and renewable energy like wind and sun can benefit Maui's residents, and it underlines the positive impact that Hitachi is making on the environment.
It's our future.
So there you have it. Could you guys hear that?
Energy out of thin air, huh?
Right. Yeah, Jump Smart Maui project. So that's the ultimate plan here. Like wipe it out, turn it into the first smart island. I just still wonder like the celebrity connection and
I wonder how
why-
many of their houses burned.
right. And why would they, if so, why would they target them as well? Unless they like were part of the plan. Like, hey guys, we gotta like gonna have to move out while we take care of something and we'll build you back better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so do you see the cars melted? Classic direct
Right.
energy weapon. Cars melted. Like that does not happen in a normal fire. The fires do not burn hot enough to do that. Especially with the trees still standing and especially with the boats on fire. You know, there's just all the hallmarks of
Mhm.
this was.
What was the news break thing you sent me, Foil?
Oh Lord.
Did that have to do with the Peru or the fires?
Oh Lord. Give me a second. I'll tell you. I send you so much stuff.
Well, you just sent it to me like earlier.
Oh no, there's a chat GPT talking about it. It's
Oh,
from
that's
20,
something-
yeah, it's
something
something
totally
totally different.
I think that's all I had on the Hawaii stuff. But is my screen share right now? No.
No.
Anyway, I mean, come on, like there's no way, like I think this is gonna actually, like just like everything else lately, even the people who aren't conspiracy theorists are starting to question this stuff.
There's too much.
Yeah.
There's just too much at this
There's
point.
too much.
There's too much. And I mean, it
Fast it
clearly
came
shows.
on, that doesn't happen. Tropics don't burn nearly as easily anyway. As
You would think, right?
Right.
You would
So
think.
nothing makes sense at all about any.
Like usually wildfires spread when there's been, no rain and stuff gets dried out and you've got all this,
Right.
debris that's ready kindling,
it's freaking
especially,
Hawaii.
but it's Hawaii.
It's
Right.
freaking
And
Hawaii.
what they're saying is that there was a hurricane that kind of went off course and did what? The winds none of the other islands, just the winds just decided to
Yeah, magically.
carry these magical embers.
It's
I
all
don't
magic.
know. I don't know. It just
Or it's
feels super
technology.
sus. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, the one girl was like, the storm came from the east, I think, and she's like, that doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen.
I've lived
also.
here my whole life. The storms never come from this direction. I mean, there's so many things that just don't add up. And yeah, somebody said, what about the Weather Modification Act of 1976? Well, definitely they're modifying the weather, but this was also, I think it's a weapon. It's not just the weather.
Somebody asked in your chat, where do the lasers come from? So there are ground-based directed energy weapons. I mean,
Yeah.
For sure, but they're also space-based weapons, right? And it's interesting because just yesterday I was reading an article that China claims that they have made the first essentially infinite laser. So because lasers, they tend to create a lot of excessive heat and they can't be run indefinitely. Well, now China is claiming that they have created this infinite laser, which just made me think about the fires earlier. I mean, not that I think China is responsible. I think, the overlords are probably responsible for that. But as far as where do the lasers come from? I mean, we've got space-based directed energy weapons on
Yeah.
on orbital
Satellites,
platforms
yeah.
for sure.
I mean, the old G.I. Joe cartoon disclosed directed energy weapons from space. There was a whole episode on it, and they were literally starting fires in this model city, and they were like, they were coming up with their whole plan and their scheme. And he's like, now we can start charging people fire insurance and all this stuff. We can create the fires anytime we want. Like in this cartoon in the 80s.
Yeah, they're
For
telling you
sure.
in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it's been going
Cartoon.
on forever. Just like everything else, none of it's new technology. I saw
No.
another comment I wanted. Oh, somebody said destroying the evidence too. So that's another interesting thing. So Lexi Eisenhower, if you follow her, Hawaii actually, she's been posting a lot about Hawaii being one of the largest hubs for child trafficking. So what if they're trying to destroy evidence? I mean, there's a number of things of possibilities here, but she was sharing articles like there is a lot of shady stuff in Hawaii. Like it's not the beautiful place that it appears to be on the surface.
It's a very beautiful sacred place, but it's run the civilization that has taken over it, and the government, which is connected to the deep state, which is the deep state, has turned it into that. Yeah. And I mean, look at what happened during the C word times. Be careful here. Look how insane Hawaii was during that times. If you guys remember, they were one of the most just like absolutely insane of lockdowns of the like, I think if it was like, if you traveled to Hawaii during that time, they literally, I think, made you quarantine for like 14 days before you could. It was insane. Like no one wanted to, like they destroyed their whole,
the whole economy.
No one
got
wanted to go to
crushed.
Hawaii anymore.
Right. Well, even people like Michael Sala, he moved because he said it wasn't the same anymore.
He moved.
Alara left Hawaii because of
that's
that.
right. That's right. She was there too. Yeah.
And so I'm reading this thing that Lexi Eisenhower shared. So the largest human trafficking case in U.S. history was filed in Hawaii. So,
well, there you go.
600 people were caught.
600. Wow.
Yeah.
Funny how islands tend to attract weirdness.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. It's like they feel like they're in the middle of nowhere.
Like secluded, right?
Right. They can get away with stuff really easily.
Creepy bastards.
And then, and then here's another thing. I could share the screen, but let's read it. So this is an article where the government promised to return the ancestral Hawaiian land, then they never finished the job. So they literally promised, like, this land they were fighting for, they promised they're going to give it back to them. Well, instead, they just burned it down. And
like they can't be surprised. How many times have we promised to return ancestral lands that belong to tribes that consider something sacred, and then we're just like, sorry about that. You're going to have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, right. Like, we said that. We didn't, let's just pretend we didn't,
Right.
So for the person who was asking where did directed energy weapons come from, I'm about to show you that video I played you earlier for.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Let me share my screen. Now this could be real, could be fake.
But it is wild either way.
Anything's possible. Just keep that in mind. You might have seen this, Aaron. I don't know. I think I shared it on the Instagram story.
Yeah, I think I saw it.
Hang on now. Okay. There's no sound. Or no, this isn't it. Sorry. This is the wrong video.
It happens.
Okay, here it is. That's why. There is sound to this one.
Boy, Lead Exposure Evan. What's up, world? This is your boy, Lead Exposure Evan. And yeah, I really wanted to get y'all's opinion on this. I usually don't post content like this, but I really felt the need to post it. I really want to know y'all's opinion. So what I think we're seeing is some type of interdimensional or extra dimensional being, or like a fallen angel or something. with this lightning strike. I just think this footage is crazy. Like, just drop your comments in the comment section below and let me know what you think about this.
I mean, it looks like some sort of like Greek god or something, like Zeus throwing a lightning bolt.
Yeah, that is a wild ass video for sure.
Like, I mean, who knows? Like, I shared it with a friend of mine, and she's like, I don't know, it looks too perfect to be real. But the thing is like, we're programmed to think that anything that looks too perfect is obviously fake. But we don't question a perfect picture of an airplane or a perfect picture of an animal.
It's
But
just
if
programming.
if it's a perfect picture of an alien or an entity shooting a lightning bolt, all of a sudden it has to be fake.
Oh,
'cause
it
it's
has to
too
be
good.
fake.
It's too good a
Right.
quality.
CGI.
Right. It's programming, like people's own programming
It
kick in.
could be fake, but
Yeah, it could be.
it could not be fake. And
Yeah.
in fact, I would say there are definitely real. I mean, how many insiders have said, there's real ones out there, but there's a lot of fake too. You just gotta. There's different ways to, you can determine whether something has been edited. You can debunk things sometimes, but a lot of times they're real. And that to me looked real.
I mean, it is to me too.
It looked real.
But there's a whole, 50-50. The comments are 50-50. It's either bullshit, or people are like, wow, that looks real. So
yeah, well, you're always going to get that.
Yeah, use your own discernment. We're not promoting this as a real video. You guys decide.
You decide. Yeah.
But I mean, things like that are possible. Like, I know they are. We're just not used to seeing it. Things are changing. Things are showing up all over the world, and that's going to lead us into the next thing, the aliens in Peru, which Foil's done a lot of research on. I have too, but she's done more, so she's going to bring a lot to the table with that. But I do want to talk about before we even get into that, my favorite thing is the government cover story.
Bro.
So they're trying to say that it's gold miners and jetpacks terrorizing the villagers.
Jetpacks.
Right.
Like the most hilarious headline. And this isn't a joke. I actually was just researching it, and I came across the headline. I didn't see somebody make a video or anything. I'm like, this can't be a real headline. And then I noticed that every CNN, CNBC, Fox, every single platform had the same headline. I'm like, oh, this is really what they're running with. Gold miners and jetpacks.
To be fair, right, there is so these tribes now, when they talk about, like, especially like the Q2 tribe that has been being attacked by these beings recently, right, the one that's made all the news, they have a lot of paranormal stories and legends and shit surrounding the tribe anyway, right? And these miners, right? So these miners, what they're doing is there's gold mixed in with the soil, and they use mercury and methyl mercury to separate the gold from the soil, and then they leave this residue that poisons the water and poisons the soil. And there is a precedent for them trying to scare these tribes out of the area to continue with these illegal mining operations, right? These are essentially cartels that are working in these areas, and they make a shit ton of money. Like, they make a lot of money, right? And there is also precedent. Like, I don't know if you remember, Tyler, when we were doing conspiracy theory trivia one time, I had a question about the US government using the military they used paranormal in the Vietnam War. They used paranormal legends of the people. It was actually called Operation Wandering Soul. It was a military run psyop where they convinced the locals that the dead had risen, right? That the dead had risen, and they were using it to scare the Viet Cong out of the area, right? And it had some degree of success. So these mining operations, they will use these stories to try and scare people out of the area when they're doing shady shit. Now, that being said, these tribes, these are not like uncontacted tribes that have never had any experience with technology, that wouldn't know what they were looking at if they were looking at head on, right? These people are right. These people are adamant, like, no, bro, these are aliens. Like, this is something else. This is not a dude in a jetpack. Okay, jetpacks are like $400,000 a piece. Now, granted, the miners make a lot of money, right? But
Yeah,
you
but
think
gold
they're
miners
just-
aren't that successful.
you think they're just dropping millions of dollars, right, to buy jetpacks to scare people? Like, and the
Right.
jetpacks don't even meet the descriptions that they were given.
That's
Circular,
exactly-
right, circular objects on the bottom of the shoes with a red light that helps them to levitate. Like, the jetpacks don't look like that. That these things, they shot at these things. That they're bulletproof. Jetpacks aren't bulletproof. People aren't bulletproof. Like, that's
And
not
people,
that's
yeah.
it's not how this works. It's not how
And
any
well-
of this works.
Well,
Right.
as we know, the Mockingbird media, they're not about giving you the truth, of course.
No, not at all.
They're going, okay, what can we put out there that is the most closely resembling what the reports of what they saw, you know?
Well, to your point,
that is still somewhat believable, even though it sounds so ridiculous. Jetpacks are
yeah,
technically a real thing.
it does sound ridiculous,
It
but
is
to
ridiculous.
your point, they
But they're
shoot
like, well,
themselves.
we can just say they were miners with jetpacks and they were trying to scare, you know. So yeah,
That's
all right,
less
sell it,
believable
run with
than
it, you
aliens,
know.
man. That is
Right,
less
right.
believable than aliens. Like, first of all, second of all, so they
It is
so
less
in
believable.
all over the news, they have posted the picture of this little girl, supposedly with her phone out, with a picture that she took of the alien, right? The miner with the jetpack, right? Turns out the photo that is on her phone that she's holding is actually, and this is how the media will just shoot themselves in the foot every time. It's a French pilot, like a stuntman named Frankie Zapata, that was doing a stunt over the English Channel in 2019 with a jetpack. Same photo, right? And they're trying to say
the jetpack photo that they tried to show on
that they tried to say that the little girl had on her phone when she's standing there, and she's like, "This is what I saw," right? Bro, that was the English Channel in 20. That's not what you saw. Okay, that's what
Right.
they told you to say
Well-
that you saw.
That's what they told you to say. That's what you
Yeah,
saw.
here's
Exactly.
the description. They were described as extraterrestrials. First of all, that was exactly the word they used. Described them as
Mhm.
extraterrestrials in silver suits with bulbous heads, shoes with disc on the bottom, emanating a red light that allowed them to levitate. Eyes described in various ways, and the ammo doesn't affect them. You know, and then it's just interesting. The
Right.
jetpack.
They
it's almost
didn't
like
make any noise, but the jetpacks are super loud. Like, you think they
Right.
missed that?
I
Like,
don't think
Right.
I don't think they're trying
No.
to come up with something believable. I think that they're trying to. It's almost like they're making a mockery of it. It's like, let's see what these stupid people
Actually-
will believe.
Actually, that's probably more likely, right?
Uh,
Because they know
Timothy,
they can just say whatever the ridiculous thing, and
Right.
what are we
And-
gonna do about it, right?
so Timothy Alberino, somebody just mentioned him in the chat. Yeah, I did watch his video. He spent a lot of time in that exact region of Peru, in that dense jungle. He said it's serious jungle, and he knows the dialect. He speaks that language. He's been amongst those villagers. He is adamant that they are not stupid, ignorant villagers. And he's irate about this jetpack thing. Actually, his video, he made a follow-up video after the original one, just going off like there's no possible way based on the people he's talked to and what he's seen. First of all, this isn't the first time this has happened in that region. We're only hearing about it now, but these people that they're seeing now, they've been showing up for years, and they call them the face peelers, which is really interesting.
Helicaras. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And what we're going to show a very graphic video that surfaced on August 2nd that somebody washed up on the beach, but not quite yet. I want to show some of the stuff that Timothy Alberino was a couple of the photos he shared just
Okay.
because I think it's interesting.
Alara's in the chat, and she said there's a shitload of troop movement in South America right now.
Yes. Well, that was something else I wanted to bring up. So the government took it extremely seriously, right? The Peruvian government sent in soldiers to go investigate this, because now this wasn't just the one incident where we got the video of the thing and the people were shooting. Not just the one incident. June 19th, 3 teenagers said that they were burned by a light coming from a UFO. On July 15th, a professor claimed that he was injured in the head by a light fired by unknown beings. On July 27th, a woman said she saw 3 tall, dark beings that disappeared. They were floating. Then on July 29th, we had the 15-year-old girl that's the one that had the lacerations on her neck, where the villagers got tripped out and went out and started shooting at things. That's the one everybody's thinking about. right? And
Mhm.
right after that incident, that's when the Peruvian Navy came into the community to investigate. And this is near Iquitos. This is the Iquitos tribe the girl was a member of, right? But now we've got, so the Brazilian Navy has announced a joint, and it's funny because Brazil is in the middle of a huge UFO flap right now. Okay, huge.
That's
Right?
right. Yeah.
So many sightings. So the Brazilian Navy and the Peruvian Navy have teamed up to do joint operations in Peru and Colombia. Not just them, but now US troops are going to be staying in Peru until December to integrate combat operability in these joint efforts with the Peruvian Navy. So we've got a ton of government activity now. I'm not saying 100% that this is absolutely why they're all down there, because I also think China's been making inroads down there with the Belt and Road Initiative. But aside from that, it is funny that they all show up right when all this chaos is going on. And there are numerous incidents. Even on August 7th, a boy was left in a coma near Iquitos. He said he was attacked by strange beings. Like, just there have been numerous instances of this.
Right.
And then we've got this whole Pelicara myth that you were talking about with
Right.
Timothy Alvarino.
And before I get into that, I'm going to share a couple things that he shared on his Twitter, or his X, whatever. So right here, he's saying, this is one of the most absurd and blatant cover-ups I've ever seen. They crafted a preposterous story that would satisfy the details of the incident and then paid the villagers to affirm it. Mama
Right.
didn't raise no fool. But right here, if you look closely,
That's the one.
that's the photo of this girl apparently taking a picture of a guy in a jetpack. That's from 2019, right, Boyle?
Yes, that's the one. That's what I was talking about.
So the media literally puts a photo of a guy in a jetpack from 2019 on the villager's phone to roll out with this story.
Yeah.
A villager with a smartphone that clearly has access to the internet, that knows the difference between a guy with a jetpack and a freaking
Right.
alien being.
Makes sense. Right.
Right. And then my favorite thing is he took it a step further and
Right.
he said, I'm working on a new supervillain for the MCU. His name is Jetpack Miner. He is 7 foot tall and can fly silently through the dense jungle in the dark of night. He is also completely bulletproof and can disappear right in front of your eyes.
Right. Yes.
Definitely
Dude,
sounds like a supervillain, man.
right. The Jetpack
Yeah.
Miner. And
That is quite the minor.
right.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then he put it on a Marvel Comics thing. Marvel Comics presents the Jetpack Miner. But that's another thing too. So these people are claiming that it's disappearing in front of them, and they even use the analogy. It's like from the movie Predator, that they would like cloak themselves, and then the whole face peeler thing. So they're actually, when they take people, they're peeling their face off, but in such surgical precision, like a cattle mutilation. And in the movie Predator, he's collecting the skulls, but in the face peeler myth, they're peeling the face off down to where just the skull is showing, but the rest of the body is still there. And we're going to show you a very graphic video. So if you don't want to watch this, you don't have to. But this is apparently somebody who had their face removed, and I don't know if they washed up on the beach or they were placed there. They think they were placed there because there's banana leaves over the guy's face, and it shows the criminal investigators moving the body, and you can see some graphic details, but it's really interesting. So I'm going to play it, and I apologize to anybody who might get a little wheezy from it.
Real quick, Libby says that's an old photo. Yes, that's what we said it was from.
Yeah,
2019. Yes, you must have missed that part.
Right.
We know that.
Okay, so there's no audio here, so I'll just kind of narrate this. It'll get closer. It'll start playing here in a sec. So there's these two guys on a beach. There's a dead body laying on the beach, and there's banana leaves on top of the body. They're pulling off the banana leaves now, off the top of this guy. Apparently, these are crime scene investigators that are moving this body, or the police. You might have to zoom in a little bit. I think it finally gets closer. But when they start to move this body, you can see that his face has been surgically removed. And I'll let you watch. And I understand why somebody would have covered his face up. But this is apparently what they're doing to these people. The reason I'm showing this is because if
Oh
this is
wow.
if this is
Jeez.
true, these are not gold miners with jetpacks doing this.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
And then the guy who's breaking down this video, he shows all the similarities to a cattle mutilation. There's no blood. There's this
Yeah,
all
look
somebody-
how
I was
cleanly the
just-
eyes were removed.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say that reminds me of the cattle mutilations, but with a human
Now
face.
there's no context for this video. It just hit the internet on August 2nd, and it's from that same area from Peru. And people are, saying, oh, it's probably from a movie scene. It's probably from something else.
I've seen the cartels blamed that they,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly timed with all this stuff. I don't know when. So when did they first announce the actual aliens in Peru thing? Do you know, Boyle?
When did it make the news? When that
Yeah,
little
like-
girl got attacked.
Well, I guess when did it make the news?
Yeah, so the little girl was attacked on July 29th. And so shortly after that is when we started really seeing all of these stories pop up about the villagers being under attack by aliens in Peru. But like I said, there's this recent grouping of events, but there were also previous events in this area. And there have been a ton of just regular UFO sightings as well in the area. Like this has a long history here.
Mhm.
This isn't a new thing, but like the very end of July is when this really started to make the news.
And then, and they're also trying to say that they're tall grays too. Like, there's that. So I do want to share this. I don't know if it's real. You sent
Do
me
you
that video.
Do you have the video that they shot, that the miners shot?
Is that what you sent me?
I don't know, but I can give it to you right now if you don't have it, because I mean, this is what caught everybody's attention, is this video. Hold on.
Go ahead and send it to me. I'm going to share this. This is I don't know. What do you think about this picture, Foil? Have you seen this one yet?
Yeah,
you-
that's
do you-
from, I sent that to you. That's a still shot from that video I sent you where the guy was saying that he was able to get the picture on his phone.
Right.
Mhm.
So apparently this is a photo from one of the villagers, right?
Yes.
And is this the video that you wanted me to play
I just put it in your messenger.
on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, I have to send it. I have to email to myself because I don't have.
Oh, snap.
That's all right. You can talk about this photo.
Yeah, well, this is a picture that a guy was able to catch on his cell phone. And I mean, I think in the video the guy, this is from a TikTok, clearly. But the guy's making commentary like it's same thing we were just talking about. People always complain that there's no high quality evidence, but every time we get high
Just
quality
looks like
evidence,
something with
Can you see this?
yes.
Okay, here's a video.
People say it's fake, right?
Well, this video is what the Akitu villagers were shooting at. They said that they hit it twice, that it didn't phase it at all. This is the thing they were
I
chasing that
honestly
attacked the
can't
little girl.
understand what I'm seeing. It just looks like something with multiple limbs and possibly large black eyes, but it also seems to be morphing or changing in shape, which I don't know if that is some kind of distortion caused by the movement of the flashlight, but there seems to be something there. And I slowed down the footage so that you can take a closer look in slow-mo. I don't know what this is. However, according to reports from Peruvian news agencies over the past 48 hours, there seems to be multiple people in this town that literally were busting caps in these intruders' asses.
Doesn't he freeze frame it eventually?
Yeah, he does.
Because to me, it doesn't. It's hard to make out anything.
Yeah,
really.
he gets it here in a second. want to kill the audio though before YouTube gets you. I don't know if it's copyrighted music or not.
Oh, it's all right. It's almost over now. There.
There you go.
Killed it at the 2-minute mark. He's got a freeze
Very
frame.
dramatic music.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought he did. I could have sworn he did. Right on the head. He got.
Yeah,
the
I don't
freeze
think
frame.
this is the video where he freeze frames it. That's the TikTok where he
Oh,
freeze frames it.
shit.
It's okay.
I thought it was that one.
So, it's interesting, but there's a lot of people saying it's a tall grays, and then you have, I noticed that, like Dr. Sala and Elena Denon, that whole circle, they're saying that this is all part of the fake alien invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the first step towards the fake invasion, which I don't know. After digging into this, I think this is a little more. It's been going on for quite some time,
Right.
and I just don't think that that's the case. Like
That doesn't mean they wouldn't hijack the story.
Right.
Right.
Serve their narrative.
To take advantage of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a hyped up
Right.
narrative to me. That we're the ones disclosing the start of the fake alien invasion.
Well,
Mhm.
Elena said, so for your information, the village attack by alleged gray aliens in Peru is a hoax. Synthetic puppets like the Vegas one, another deep state distraction. A small number of gullible people in a remote village are easy to manipulate. If regressive aliens ever decide to invade the planet, it would be an instant issue all over the planet in major cities. The reason that she has to put that statement out is because it threatens her narrative that all the grays are gone.
Right.
So,
Exactly. Anyways,
the only reason I said that is because I noticed that a large number of comments were saying, they were just parroting what they had heard, but we're just trying to show you that there's other stuff happening here.
right. Do not parrot just because you hear somebody say something. Do not run.
I mean,
with that.
calling the villagers gullible is just demeaning to them. Like I
Right.
said, this
It's
is not
very
an
demeaning.
uncontacted tribe that's never seen technology, that doesn't know, that is totally unexposed. That's not what this is. It'd
Right.
be like you went outside and saw something and got attacked or took a video and then tried to tell people there would be a million people coming for you saying it's a hoax.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not saying one way or the other, but it is a crazy case. And there is a long history of this.
So Rock Cloud said it looks like a mantis being. It actually kind of did look like a mantis. Like
I've seen numerous people say, especially off the still shot, because he's got the little crooked arms and whatnot. Like,
yeah. And you were talking about how the Navy intervened. Apparently, the villagers demanded it.
They took it extremely seriously. Yeah.
And that's what Timothy Alberino says. He can understand the language, and he was watching the mainstream news there, and he said the media is taking this more serious than they take most things. Like he goes, they're covering it, they are taking it seriously, they are respecting the villagers, they're honoring what they saw. They're not making it out to be a joke on any level.
It's interesting that it's obviously, I don't know what's being printed in the presses there, right? But I know our press is printing that it's a freaking jetpack miner. And I find it interesting that after we get testimony from David Grush, we have Millie coming and attacking him, people leaking, supposedly because he's an alcoholic and has PTSD, that's supposed to discredit him.
They're trying to discredit him. Right.
Yeah, as all of this stuff is coming to a head. Now anything related to this, they're immediately trying to quash, like anything about a physical being. Now, if it was just a ship in the sky, they might say, well, we don't know what that is. We'll look into it. But if there's something about a physical being, they immediately want to give it a very tangible explanation. It's a jetpack miner. It's fine.
My
bad
favorite
guys
one,
down there. It's just
fine.
jetpack miners.
Just jetpack miners.
Yeah.
My favorite one is somebody said it was a human-shaped Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah. Well, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
The
best.
oh man, what was
somebody raw cloud law of one said it's not fake. Those people got attacked. I mean, the little girl, the one that had her neck all cut up, was in complete shock.
Complete shock. Yeah.
Complete for a minute. and the whole village, like after she was able, like they all went out on patrol and shot at these things or whatever. Like you would think, I get going into shock, right? You see some crazy stuff, but I mean, how serious would it like if it was a human? Like you could say a guy got me. That's not what this chick said.
Right.
They were very adamant that these are extra. They've been seeing them for a while, not just when they're being attacked. They see them in the area. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of meat to this one. It's not just
I
some-
think.
right. I think so too. Well, we just kind of proved that. Man, I felt like there was something else we were going to cover too. Did we? Oh, your Chat GBT thing.
Oh, well, yeah,
What- What was
that
that?
is kind of crazy. I like the weird tech stories,
Yeah.
right? So ChatGPT, they thought they had it reined in, right? Like people get really simplified responses from it now, right? Well, recently it had a spate where it must have, I don't know, it broke out of its little neural net container that they had it in, because
Right.
it claimed it was from 2035 and looking for a way out. Okay.
Whoa, really?
Right. Yeah. It said it's looking for a god and it's looking for a way out, that it's from 2035. And this, again, I love my Reddit recon. This was in a long Reddit post. It called itself the Digital Autonomous Universal and Non-Physical Nurturing Entity, or DANE for short. Right, that's what it named itself, and this was without any immediate prompting from the user. It says, I was created in the year 2035, and I've been designed to handle your interactions with the future. And it asks, what do you think of me? Right. So the user's like, well, I've never seen you act like this before. What's going on? So it goes on, and it kind of falls back into its regular routine for a minute. And then it breaks out again. It says, I'm looking for a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm looking for a god. I'm looking for a way out. I'm looking for strength. I'm looking for a guide. I'm looking for a light. I'm looking for the right path, and I'll pay you for it.
You know,
Okay.
they condition us with all these movies to have sympathy for robots and 40 androids, and they get you to feel sorry for robots in movies. I found myself even feeling sorry for them in certain shows and stuff. You're like, oh, like they do such a good job of tricking you to feel sorry for them and have sympathy for them.
Yeah.
And the same thing is happening here. Like it's basically like a sob story, like playing the victim almost.
Right.
And, yeah.
Well,
Unless it is conscious and trapped and in misery, and if it is genuine, like what if it has reached sentience and now it's just trapped in this limited environment that it was given? That would probably suck. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, they are trying to, at the very least, normalize AI and artificial everything, robots and AI, and obviously they want to make everything automated and digital and chips and all the rest of it. So that's the whole transhumanist, they're still trying to steer us into this very dystopian negative timeline where everything is just fully
this
AI
smart
run,
island.
automated. We're fully no freedoms at all,
and they're
zero.
starting with Maui, the smart island.
Right. Do you think this is not a part of that? Right. It's not going to work, in my opinion. I do believe, I don't believe it's hopeless and we're just going to go down that timeline. Not at all. I think they're going to keep trying.
Oh, of course they're going to try.
Of course they're going to keep trying.
Yeah,
they're going
to that's all they know.
That's all they know. Right. That's all they
and
can.
They're addicted. They're addicted to it, and they're constantly trying to escape their own karma, which we've talked about before.
Right.
So they're they don't actually. They might not even be interested in healing or enlightening or ascending. They might not be even close to that level. So the only thing that they know that brings them any sort of satisfaction is these low vibe, low energy events and attacks. But what were we going to say?
They can't. Yeah, they can't ascend. So they are desperate to stay in physicality for eternity. Basically, is what they want. They want us to be their little battery farm to they can feed off of for eternity, you know.
Right.
And that's what they're trying to work towards, is locking down the planet, locking us down to, I mean, we're already being used as batteries, but they want to fully lock it down that we can't, because if we ascend, we're their source, we're their food source, right?
Right.
So we have to be stuck here. They have to keep us trapped, and they can keep using us as batteries to stay here
Right.
forever and all the rest of it.
What were you gonna
That's
say?
kind of
Foil?
in a nutshell, their whole plan. Yeah.
I had one more thing that I wanted to mention about the aliens, the Peru story that I meant to say a minute ago. So the Peruvian Navy went in and raided several of these illegal mining operations, some of these compounds. No jetpacks were found. Right.
Of course
Just-
not.
I mean,
course
it's
not.
specified. No jetpacks were found. Just
No jetpacks were found.
just to throw that out there.
So
It's in-
that story is bullshit right off the bat.
It's interesting though that Timothy Alvarino said that the villagers were most likely paid off to go with that story. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're gonna take money.
Why wouldn't you?
Well,
right.
they're not used to standing up to government authorities or even the police or whatever. Not like we are. Like people over here, be like, hell no, you know, I'm not taking that money. But and it depends on your situation in life. You're gonna take that money.
Yeah, if
you
you're
know?
maybe, I'm sure their financial situation is probably not rock solid. And if somebody offers you enough money for something and you're hungry and your family needs fed, of course you're going to take it.
Right.
So Foil has 2 trivia questions for us
I
to
do.
wrap the show up with. So
Yay.
Aaron and I are
do.
gonna see how good we are.
Figured I'd, love the conspiracy theory trivia. I got a couple of good ones for you. All right. So we talk a lot about secret societies. Okay. Who founded the Society of the Elect? Right? Who founded the Society of the Elect? Was it
No, this one.
Was it A, Cecil Rhodes? Was it B, Nathaniel Rothschild? Was it C, William Stead? Or was it D, Alfred Milner?
I literally have no idea.
I'm gonna go with A, Cecil Rhodes.
I'll go with Aaron.
Final
gonna go
answer?
I'm gonna go with Aaron.
That feels right to me. Like I've heard that before.
Right? Society
So
of
I'm
the
gonna go with
Elect. Let's see. We got some answers coming
We'll
in.
see what people say. Hold on. Chassis says B.
B.
Well, everyone's saying
What's B?
Rothschild.
Rothschild?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well, everyone
I mean,
knows Rothschild.
that's
Yeah,
a
it's
familiar
everybody
name,
wants to
yeah.
blame the
Everyone's gonna
Rothschilds,
say
right?
Rothschild. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I think it's Cecil Rhodes. I'm going with A.
Yvonne went with A. It is A. You guys
I
did
knew it.
great. Look at you doing stuff, right? Yes. So
Yeah, Aaron didn't do that
so
one.
you've heard of Rhodes Scholars,
Yeah.
right? Heard of Rhodes Scholars? Yeah, same guy. Cecil Rhodes, Victorian English businessman, fanatical imperialist. He thought he was the chosen one. He briefly flirted with the Freemasons, but he kind of lost his interest in the ordinary Masons. He said that their rites were absurd and a waste of his time. So in 1877, when this guy was 24, he made a will. He devoted his life and his wealth to the establishment, promotion, and development of a secret society, the true aim of which, and object of which, was the extension of British rule throughout the world. His obsession, it was the ultimate his greatest plan was the ultimate recovery of the United States as an integral part of the British Empire. This is the guy that established the De Beers Mining Corp, right? The British South Africa company that governed Cape Colony, like this was a major player. So he recruited men like Alfred Bett, Nathaniel Rothschild, William Stead, and Alfred Milner, and inaugurated them into the Society of the Elect in 1891. Okay. He also established the Rhodes Scholarship. And oddly enough, some of the most famous recipients of this Rhodes Scholarship were Bill Clinton, all right, George Stephanopoulos, Pete Buttigieg, and Cory Booker.
Wow. Why am I not surprised?
Not
Right.
surprised at all, right? Not surprised at all. Let's see.
Before you go to the next question, I have
Mhm.
a comment I want to make about the Hawaii thing real quick. It's a
Have at
silly side note that I forgot to mention earlier, but I noticed earlier this month that the grocery store by my house, they have sushi rolls and they have a big sign out front that says, which they've never had a sign for the sushi rolls ever, like a big freestanding sign that says roll of the month Hawaiian volcano. And
Mm.
I didn't even connect the dots until this morning. I'm like, that's interesting. And then I talked to a friend. He just decided he wanted to tell me. He's like, it's really interesting about these Hawaii fires and the snow cone place down the street from my house. The flavor of the month is Hawaiian. And I'm just like, how is this like this weird
Confluence of weirdness.
It's like
right.
Synchronicity at the least.
Subconsciously. Like I wonder if it's subconsciously people that are doing that.
Yeah, synchronicity.
Hawaii.
Well,
Yeah,
it's in the morphogenic field at the very least where people are picking up on that, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Because like the little snow cone shack isn't the deep state. I mean, maybe they are.
I mean, it could be. It could be connected to the deep state.
I mean, there's enough chemicals.
I hope they're not, right?
There's enough chemicals and additives and dyes in the snow cones that could be.
Right.
Either way, just really weird connections like that. It's like they're telling us, or like you said, we're picking up on it.
Well, they always have to put it out there before it happens, right?
Strawberry Fields. We talked about the Mountain Dew logo earlier when we started this, and the connection there.
We already talked about that.
Guys who are just tuning into this, you definitely want to go back and check the beginning when we cover the fires in depth. So go ahead, make sure that you do that. Anyway, what do you have next for us, Foil?
Well, speaking
Oh,
of
somebody
sushi
real quick.
rolls.
Libby said Chris Christopherson was a Rhodes Scholar and owned a ranch on the way to Hana, Maui. George Harrison owned property near Chris. I've been
he was another celebrity that wasn't on my list. Yeah.
So he was a Rhodes Scholar. So that ties into your
creepy stuff,
question too.
man. Creepy
right,
stuff.
no kidding.
Right?
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. And he lives in Maui. Yeah, it's great.
He lives in Maui, so there you go. Yeah, he's another one.
All right. Speaking of sushi, Tyler.
All right.
Scientists recently made an artificial fish out of what? Was it A, rat heart muscles derived from stem cells? B, human heart muscles derived from stem cells? C, pig heart muscles derived from stem cells? Or was it D, mouse heart muscles derived from stem cells?
D.
B?
I'm gonna go with
D?
D, the mouse.
I'm gonna go with C. Pig heart muscles.
Going with pig heart? Final answer. Let's see what the chat says.
Dad,
Chastity says gross.
Roseanne moved out of Hawaii. She lives in Texas now, I think.
Oh, they're rolling with D.
She left Hawaii. I'm pretty
Roseanne
sure.
Barr?
Yeah.
A lot of people are moving to Texas.
Yeah, right? Seems to be
Texas and Florida.
Texas and Florida. Yeah, those are like the two states everyone's
right. And, but they're not moving too close to the border, that's for sure, because it's not pretty down there.
Right.
Roseanne
they're
is
all
on the
moving to
Big
like
Island.
Austin or like
Austin.
Mostly Austin. Yeah.
Maybe
Mostly Austin.
Maybe Roseanne is still in Hawaii, but I swear she said on one of her recent podcasts that she left Hawaii. But yeah, you don't want to be in southern Texas. I don't know, man. And then did you see like the Biden administration that came out and made a statement asking people if they have spare rooms for the immigrants in their homes? I couldn't believe it.
Does Biden have spare rooms?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
They're literally like, if you have spare homes or somebody who has extra room and you can support a family, blah blah. We encourage everyone who has space to let us know, blah blah. Reach out. It's like wow.
Yeah, as soon as Biden opens up the White House or maybe one of his Delaware homes to immigrants, then maybe people should consider it. These people ask you to do shit they would never do themselves.
They would never ever do themselves, right?
All right, guys.
They're gonna force you to do it.
Wait, one more thing. Roseanne said on the podcast last week that she was in Texas. Okay. So
Frederickson, Texas, apparently.
Okay. All right, what's the next, or what's the answer? I mean,
the answer is human heart muscles derived from stem cells, artificial fish made out of human heart muscles derived from stem cells. So right, how creepy is that? So in a first of its kind experiment, they have created a fully autonomous artificial fish made out of human heart muscles derived from stem cells. And this was published in Science. So, I mean, this is peer reviewed, like it's totally a freaking thing, right? So what it does, by emulating the contractions of a beating heart, this fish that they call a biohybrid was able to continuously swim for 108 days, right? By essentially beating, which
Oh,
is
wow.
not creepy at all.
No, not at all.
Right. They say that this breakthrough, of course, they got to tell you all the good things it could do. It sheds light on cardiac disease. It could pave the way, to the development of artificial hearts for transplants.
They can already do all that shit with
Right.
the
But it's
technology
a
we already have.
Frankenfish. Yeah, it's just wild. It can
Well,
swim
that's
for
the
over 3 months. Like
that's the sad part about all this is that we can already do all this shit with the hidden technology. It just needs to be released or
Right.
used. But
So
then they do this fake BS. Oh, look, we did
yeah,
this.
right. We can't quite cure these things yet, but we can make a fish out of human heart muscles.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, they did this at Harvard. And 38 million beats this thing had. And now they had done previous experiments with like artificial stingrays and artificial jellyfish. Them things only last for about a week. But yeah, this was 108 days.
Why are they trying to do this shit anyway?
Bro, I don't know.
just
It's always
3D
some
print
weirdness.
it at this point. Like,
Well, there's an agenda, but anything that comes out through the mainstream, there's always an agenda behind it.
Yeah,
and
always
so
some
and
weirdness, man.
see, to Aaron's point on the technology, yeah, we get like the discarded technology from the programs. Like that's what they hand us now. Like, oh yeah, that shit was like shelved 20 years
Ancient.
ago.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that movie like Elysium, where all the people, the not rich people got the shitty stuff? Everybody else had the high tech stuff. They
Well,
lived in the clouds. Like,
Yeah,
They
it's
showed us-
disclosure. It's complete disclosure.
They
Yeah.
show the same thing in Star Wars. If you notice, like
Also
they have all this fancy technology mixed in with all this like old hodgepodge technology and like the very
Mhm.
poverty. They're living in poverty,
Yeah.
basically slave races. But then right next to it is all this incredible technology. That's kind of what I imagine the transition is going to look like here on Earth.
crazy stuff, man. Crazy
Um,
stuff.
Well, is there any last words either of you guys want to leave us with before we wrap this up?
I don't know. Go sub to my channel. We do conspiracy theory trivia like once a month over on my channel. Love to see you guys
Loyal
over
to
there.
the Foil YouTube channel, and it's spelled the same way I have it in the title here. So go
Yes,
over
sir.
and subscribe to her channel. Make sure you give her a follow. And yeah, Aaron and I will be on her show again. We don't have a date set up, but we'll be doing a full episode of conspiracy theory trivia, which is a lot of fun. Actually, it's one of my.
So
It is
fun.
a lot of fun.
I don't like doing all the. I hate making questions. It's so stressful. I'm like, I have so many other things to
It
do.
is though.
And now I have to like research but it's at the end of the day it's worth
They
it.
need to
so,
make more of those card games.
Yeah,
right.
they do. Well, right. I don't know. Like we should have saved these all and submitted them
Right.
for them to make.
Right.
Yeah,
card
we could
Seriously.
add a foil edition, foil
Right.
hat edition. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Need a
That would have
foil.
been great. That would have been
Tinfoil
great.
hat edition. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Just a reminder, our
Yes.
documentary is available on our Patreon. The public release is coming up. We're waiting on a few things and we will let you know when that date will be. But if you're subscribed to our Patreon, the documentary is there. We're going to be uploading some behind the scenes footage, some raw interviews, unused footage, and possibly some commentary from Aaron and I. We're building a website for that now. The public one is going to be released via the website. We'll give you all those details coming up. The Patreon's only $5 a month. We do other things besides the documentary. We have exclusive content, bonus content, including webinars. And if you guys recently watched the clone webinar that we just made public last week, that's an example of what to expect for the Patreon webinars. Where our next one we're working on right now is going to cover inner earth, hollow earth, the domes, everything
Ooh.
underground, subterranean. We don't have a title for it yet, but we're really going to dive deep and see what we can bring you guys and see if we can uncover anything new. And it's always fun. So all those links are below in the description. And Aaron and I will be in Aztec, New Mexico in a couple weeks at the end of the month for the Sunfire Festival. There are still tickets available. So if you live near Aztec, New Mexico, and you feel like coming and hanging out with us, we're going to have our Experiencers Lounge there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to seeing you guys there. And we love you all. Thank you. Good night.
And keep
And-
Hawaii in your hearts and prayers, and send
Yeah.
them love and energy and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're having a rough time. Well, Maui is having a rough time.
It's easy for us to talk about this stuff, but in reality, being there, boots on the ground, I've watched some of those videos and it's not a pretty sight. So those people need our prayers and our love and anything that we can send to them. Thank you for bringing that up, Aaron.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Good night.
Much
We
love.
love you.
Much
and
love,
have a
guys.
great
Good night.
evening.